Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today we are continuing on with my Best of Skincare series that I started back in December here on my channel. Essentially what I've been doing is going through a few of my different skincare brands, and I have been sharing my top 5 favorite products from each of those brands. So products that I found have personally worked incredibly well for me with my skin type, which you should know what my skin type is before I start sharing this stuff if you're new here to my channel. So I'm 45, I have oily skin. My main issues in the past have always been that I've had very congested skin, so sebaceous filaments, blackheads, never really a lot of acne per se, but definitely congested skin for sure. And that was my biggest source of frustration, is that I could not get rid of my blackheads and I could not get my oily skin to balance out at all. I was using all the wrong products, you guys. This was back in the day when, so this was around 2011 that I discovered Paula's Choice. Before that, I was always buying all of my skincare from the drugstore, and I was trying to find like the harshest products that I could to, one, dry my skin out so it wouldn't be so oily, and two, using anything that I could to try to get the blackheads out of my face. So using a lot of Pore strips, you know, squeezing my skin, picking at it, trying to like get the blackheads out that way. It was really frustrating. And I just damaged my skin. I had a horrible skin barrier. My skin looked irritated. It was always usually red in one area or another, or just kind of red all over from me picking at it. My skin was just not very happy. A lot of the stuff that I was using from the drugstore, like from Neutrogena, the products were just incredibly harsh, and I wasn't using them correctly to begin with, and it was just a mess, right? So I had a girlfriend at the time who was using Paula's Choice, and she was like, if you want to try like a really great skincare line, check this website out, take their quiz, see what it recommends, use the products that they recommend, and just use them consistently. See what happens. And I remember thinking, well, I'm spending all this money at the drugstore. Like, I'll just stop doing that, and I'll just, you know, take this quiz on the Paula's Choice website. I will purchase the products that they recommend. And I did. And oh my gosh, you guys, listen, it wasn't an overnight thing. I don't want to imply that any change in your skincare routine is going to result in immediate, like, incredible results, right? Like, it's going to take some time. So I would really encourage you that if you are new to the skincare game, or if you are changing some things up in your skincare routine, that you give it time. Skincare is not one of those immediate results type of situations. You know, I think a lot of in-office treatments can give you a lot more immediate looking results, but when it comes to at-home skincare, it's going to take a little bit of time for that to really take effect on your skin. So be consistent, keep using the products. Give it at minimum, I would say 3 months, but really, truly, I think at around the 6-month mark is probably when you're going to notice the most change in your skin. And I realize that sounds like 6 months is a long time, right? Like, it's a long time, but if we think of it in terms of, you know, like, let's say middle of June, dude, that's gonna be here in no time. Just be consistent until the middle of June and you are going to see results. You have to be consistent. Don't skip your morning routine. Don't skip your night routine. Use the products as directed, and yeah, don't leave them sitting on your bathroom counter. Like, all this stuff might look pretty on there, but it's not doing you any good if you're not actually putting it on your face. So there's kind of my little spiel for you if you are just kind of getting started with skincare, or you're starting to take it a little bit more seriously. Be consistent and actually use the product. You will see changes in your skin, no matter what the brand. I feel like using anything consistently can only probably do your skin some good, provided it's the right product for your skin type, right? So that's the thing you have to figure out first. What's your issues? You know, what are the recommended ingredients for your issues? And then you start kind of looking at different brands, looking at different price points, and figuring out what works for your budget, as well as what you are actually willing to do for your skin. So today is Paula's Choice. I love Paula's Choice. This is my most consistently repurchased skincare product line. There have been a few things that I've kind of switched in and out over the years, but there are at minimum, there are 3 products that I am never ever without at any given time from Paula's Choice. And you're probably going to be very familiar with those, but for those of you that are new here, let's get started with those top 3. Now, I do have a bonus that I'm going to mention at the end because it's also a product from Paula's Choice that has a really good effect on my eczema. And I know because it's winter, a lot of us might be dealing with eczema outbreaks right now. So I wanted to pop this in here. But let's get started with the most repurchased, the most used, like daily. I use this daily. It's SPF. For me, the Paula's Choice Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30 is such a good fit. By the way, I will be listing and linking everything in the description box down below. So if you want to read up more about these products, look at the full ingredient decks, read other people's reviews, be sure to check that out. I personally purchase all my products from the Paula's Choice website because they have frequent sales. They also have decently high cashback on Rakuten. But you can also now find a lot of Paula's Choice products at Sephora, which I think is great because I think it has definitely expanded their reach a little bit more. So if you're more comfortable purchasing from Sephora, I will also list and link the products from Sephora as well in the description box down below. So make sure you check that out. It's a plethora of information. Anyway, back to this SPF. This is the very best SPF period from like any skincare line that I have ever found that is the best fit for my oily skin. It's really hard to find SPF for an oily skin type. For me, zinc oxide tends to be the very best. This is a zinc oxide SPF, so it is a mineral SPF. Mineral works great for my particular skin type. I'm not opposed to chemical SPFs, but I just think that the mineral works the best for my oily skin type. This never leaves my skin feeling greasy or oilier in any kind of way. It really absorbs well into my skin. It pairs well with my makeup products. I can't tell you how many bottles of this I have been through, but I have 2 backups right now in my closet. And I'm never without at least 1 backup of this product. When I have less than like 2 bottles, I start to panic a little bit. I just think for me, this has been the very, very best SPF. It is only an SPF of 30, which makes it great for every day. When I'm actively out in the sun, I do tend to use higher SPF, and for that, I typically tend to go to Dermatology. I've already done my favorites from the Dermatology brand, so I will link that in the description box down below as well. And that particular SPF that I just showed you is in that video. This one, however, for every day is fantastic. It's 2 fluid ounces, so it's a good amount of SPF. It lasts me, I don't know, like an average amount of time. I definitely use the 3-finger rule for SPF, so I just kind of, you know, go up the length of each finger, and that is what I use on my face. A lot of times I will bring this down a little ways onto my neck, but this does have a tint. And I don't like getting the tint on my clothing, especially if I'm wearing like a lighter sweatshirt or t-shirt. So I will use the Paula's Choice Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid. This is actually an SPF of 50 here. This works better on my neck than it does on my face. This one here is a chemical SPF, but it doesn't have any color. So it's a better fit for, you know, around my neck where I don't necessarily want to get makeup on my clothing. But this here, I just cannot say enough good things about it. I will never ever stop purchasing this. I think it's incredible. The second most repurchased product for me is the Paula's Choice Niacinamide 20% treatment. This goes on my face most mornings. Occasionally I will skip this. But this 20% niacinamide with acetylglucosamine as well as purslane in the formulation has been such a good fit for my pores, you guys. Now, I started with the Paula's Choice 10% niacinamide, and that definitely made an impact on my skin. It certainly reduced the look of my pores, but when they came out with the 20%, I immediately purchased it, and I saw a much bigger difference in the overall appearance of my pores than I even did with the 10%. So that's why I keep going back to the 20%. There's a lot of people out there who will tell you you don't need more than a 5% niacinamide, and yeah, that's probably true for some people for sure. But if you are someone who has really stubborn, really enlarged pores, and you don't have sensitive skin, give this a try. Now you have to use it consistently. It's not an overnight thing. It's gonna take several months, but I'm telling you, you will see a difference in the look of your pores. I think that my pores look better now at 45 than they did at 25 or even at 20. Probably better than at 17 even. Like my skin started going downhill when I was 12 and it just kept going. Like I didn't know you could get further downhill than what my skin was going, but it was just barreling. And this was the very first time that I actually saw a reduction in the look of my pores, a significant reduction in the look of my pores when I started using this. Yes, it's kind of a spendier product, but I use like a couple of drops and I just use it straight up on my most pore enlarged areas, which for me, unfortunately, it's my whole face, but mostly on my cheeks and my nose. Those are the biggest pores there, but I also apply it to my forehead as well as my chin. So a couple of drops goes a long way. I work it into my pore areas and then I go on with the rest of my skincare routine. What a game changer. Massive, massive game changer. These two here, I will never, ever, ever be without. Never. Now the third one that I also feel like I probably couldn't be without is their famous Skin Perfecting 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. This is what I use now to keep blackheads at bay and to keep sebaceous filaments at bay. But before I feel like I can really talk about this, because this is now a maintenance product for me, I have to tell you about their BHA 9. Now it's in different packaging now, but when they like discontinued this particular packaging, it was like on a really good sale on their website, so I bought several bottles. They're all still sealed, so I think they're fine. I think they're still fine. But this now comes in like a tube format, which is a much better way to get this product. But this is a 9% BHA. This is what initially removed all the stubborn blackheads from my face. So listen guys, I was applying this in all of my blackhead prone areas, which for me was essentially all over my face. I think the only place I didn't really need it was my temples, and then like right around like my jawline here, I didn't deal with blackheads there, but basically everywhere else on my face was fair game for blackheads. So I really worked this into the skin. It basically just took like a couple of drops because it's really concentrated. It does have a little bit of like an oily feel to it, but I would just rub that into those areas, and over time the blackheads would just kind of start to dissolve. And occasionally like I could run, you know, just my fingers across like certain areas of my face and I could feel the blackheads coming out because they would just kind of like, I don't know, almost like shrivel up and just, they would just come out whole out of my pores. I remember being really grossed out by that, but after a while I was like, oh my, like they're coming out. Then was when I really needed this BHA, because once those stubborn, bigger blackheads were gone, I was left with holes in my face. So honestly, these two are kind of like, you know, hand in hand type products for me. Their BHA is a must. Now, I feel like I don't really need this 9% BHA very often anymore. In fact, I'll probably be giving my last backup bottle that I have of this to Stella. Stella deals with blackheads as well. And honestly, I was her age when I started noticing them, and they're really freaking stubborn. So anyway, she will be using this under my like supervision, because it is it's a much more aggressive form of BHA, but when used properly and consistently, it can get rid of blackheads quite well. I'm proof. Anyway, I now use this as maintenance. I don't feel like I need the BHA all that often anymore, the BHA 9 anyway. The 2% gives me the maintenance that I need. So a big bottle like this lasts me forever. I like to use this at night because it has kind of an oily feel to it. So I'll just take a couple drops of this. It's basically a toner format. I will put that into the palm of my hand, and I will again rub it into the areas where I'm prone to sebaceous filaments and or blackheads. and I just don't deal with that anymore. That's just not a thing for me, which is glorious. Man, from dealing with that like my entire teen years and then throughout my 20s and into part of my 30s and then not having that be a thing anymore it feels so good, because that was years of me just looking in the mirror and going, ugh. Not anymore. It's great. I love it. Now, do I have perfect skin? No, it's not perfect, but it looks so much better than what it did. All right. Now, I also wanted to pop in the vitamin C from Paula's Choice because I think they have a really, really great vitamin C product. This has 15% vitamin C. It also has vitamin E as well as ferulic acid. This is from their Boost line, if you will. So you can basically use these products in conjunction with, other serums or moisturizers that you have, and you basically just take a few drops and you add it to those formulations. That's why they call this a booster, if you will. But I like to use these straight up. I don't typically put them in with anything else. I will just take, a few drops, again, into the palm of my hand, and then I will work that into my skin just straight up. I get the very best glow from this particular vitamin C. I like using this in the morning, and it just absorbs very quickly into my skin, and the brightening effect is amazing. I feel like I almost have like a glow to my skin when I use vitamin C. Now, the irony for me is that vitamin C does not help me with hyperpigmentation. There's some other ingredients that work better for me with hyperpigmentation, such as tranexamic acid as well as azelaic acid. Those are kind of my two go-tos for like my melasma situation. Or if I have any hyperpigmentation from a breakout or something like that. But this, for me, gives me the brightness to my skin. It gives my skin the glow. It just makes it look so healthy. This is fabulous for that. And yeah, it's not my longest used product. And honestly, I use a lot of different vitamin C's, but I think this particular vitamin C from Paula's Choice is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely recommend it. Fabulous. Must try. Now, here's my bonus. Paula's Choice does also have some body care products. For a while there, they also had like a shampoo and a conditioner. They just have a few like randoms, right? Besides like their like facial skincare stuff. This is their daily replenishing body cream with shea butter and ceramides. Oh, okay. First of all, this is unscented. So if you don't like fragrance, you must check this out. This is a lovely, thick, like beautifully thick, but not in the way where like it doesn't absorb into the skin. It absorbs, but oh my gosh, you guys, the deep like hydration that I get from this, especially if I apply it right out of the shower when my skin is still damp, is glorious. Now, I deal with eczema on my arms, like just my upper arms, but lately, and I think it's because I'm using minoxidil, I have started getting eczema patches right here on the back of my neck, as well as around like the bottom of my hairline. I can kind of feel where the patches are. So this has always been an incredible cure for me for like the itchiness and the dryness of the eczema, but it also helps to heal it up. I think it's the ceramides in here. I think it's the shea butter that they use. But I have been rubbing this into those areas and like it's completely soothed. Like I don't have that, like I could see redness like starting to like come like down onto my neck over here. It's not red anymore. So I've just been massaging this in morning and night, and it has like taken that irritation away completely. It's so soothed. Anytime that I deal with eczema, like this is one of my go-tos. It's fantastic. It's not greasy. Like I applied it to my hand here. My hand doesn't feel greasy, and it's so much more hydrated and just softer feeling than this hand over here. I'm telling you, if you're really struggling with dry skin and you can't have anything with fragrance in it, but you want something that's really, really soothing, check this product out. It's really, really good. I can't say enough good things about it. Now, I've used a lot of other products from Paula's Choice that I also have had some really great luck with. If you have any questions about any of the other products in the line, Let me know. Like I said, I've used a lot. So if you need recommendations, let me know. But I think this is a skincare line that I will be sticking with for a very long time to come. They've given me so many great products that have just given me the results that I really kind of desperately needed, and I'm so happy with how my skin looks. So a big thanks to Paula's Choice and their skincare, because it's made a big difference for me personally. Let me know if you're a big Paula's Choice fan and what your favorites are in the comments down below, but be sure to check out the description box if you want to read out more about these products. I really appreciate you guys being here, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.